This is the safest gold warehouse in the world. Not even a fly can fly in the surrounding camera system, which is not only built hundreds of meters underground, there is also a scale in the basement. If someone trespasses, the balance will immediately be lost, the fire door will immediately close, water will immediately close, water will then be poured into the cellar, engulfing the intruders inside. It will make the room invincible, unintrusive, and with such an ingenious and sophisticated design. It was cracked by a genius guy named Joy. He was sought after by many companies when he just graduated. The conditions offered were also extremely outrageous, top $10 million per year. As long as he nods, all requirements can be met, but Joy is not interested in it, because he is interested in fame and fortune. It is a challenge. It seems that he is not only excellent but also one day, two men met each pet. This man name is Thom. He is a treasure hunter. Not long ago, they found box on the bottom of the sea that contained 3 gold coins. The gold coin contained coordinates indicating a larger gold warehouse, but before they could rejoice, they were surrounded by the Spanish government. They confiscated the box and placed it in the gold warehouse of the local bank. Opposite the bank is the military headquarters. Hundreds of soldiers are always on duty. Inside the bank, every corner is filled with camera and sensors. Every 24 hours, there are people to blame. Even when standing, there are guards coming. The movie purpose was to find Joy. He wanted him to help him cut the gold coins. Hearing that, Joy felt a little emotional. This was also the challenge he wanted, so he agreed to the movie invitation. The next day, he sat on a plane to the west. Here in Spain, he met his teammates from the movie Chubby Computer Hacker, including former Navy thief Alice and the people in charge of logistics. After all the staff arrived, they began implementing their action plan. First, the hooded guy broke into the bank surveillance system, then pretended to be a cleaner and snuck into the bank to find an opportunity to infiltrate the meeting room above the vault, turn off the vault structure with a magnetometer, and then contact him. Further analysis also requires 2 keys to open the vault and hide the fingerprints of the head of the security department. To deal with this problem, woman is a top thief. She goes to the bank disguised as the famous art appraiser, then took advantage of shaking hands with everyone to pass the coffee to the security director and so on. No one noticed, quickly hid the supervisor fingerprints, and then passed his fingerprints to her teammates. Do a similar pattern. Then Alice goes to the president office, waits until the guards leave, takes the UV light out of her bag to quickly scan the famous painting on the wall. But her goal is not the picture that is the vault in the fat bank. Records her movement under the S number, then slows down 20 times, replacing the bank surveillance screen with this one so it can buy 2 more minutes. Alice quickly found something like a stethoscope underneath the iron lock. At this time, the guards in the surveillance room were staring at Alice's action. She had no idea she had opened the lock and got the key. Locked the vault. She immediately laser scanned the fat guy, received the data through 3D printing technology, successfully made the key. After all this, she put the key back. At this time, the president suddenly came in, disrupting their plan. If the time has come, the chairman's sudden appearance will be suspected. Alice's photo could only make him step back a little. The chairman obediently backed away and finally caught at the last second to escape the sight of the security director on the other side. The whip, dressed as a cleaner, went into the room. He used the scanner under the table, then quickly scanned the structure of the vault below. But right after scanning, half a group of people went into the meeting and hid under the table. At this time, 2 more documents fell on him. There was plenty of time to think and directly turn on the power to maximum to activate the alarm. As soon as the alarm sounded, all the employees stood up to leave. The bank was also in a closed state at this time. They all gathered at the bank, at the military hall on the opposite side. They were also immediately mobilized around the bank, and Alice had just finished scanning the second key, but couldn't put it back in its original position. She just had to take the key with her. Luckily, Joy didn't have it in the hall, but when no one saw her, she gave him the key so he could return it. He had just finished it. All the security guards walked into the room. He was scared, explaining that he was wearing a wristband. He didn't hear anything, heard the noise, and successfully tricked the security guards into escaping smoothly, because the bank didn't lose anything, so it let everyone leave. After returning, they started analyzing the structure of the vault, but the area was opened and analyzed that these places were open, not water. They were surrounded by water. As long as someone broke in, the gate would be open to release water. But the tunnel was built more than 70 years ago. Back then, there were no infrared targets or sensors, so they couldn't tell if someone was breaking in. They thought for a while and then decided To give the answer, wait, turns out underneath the basement was a large scale. If the weight changes, the mechanism will be activated, but how can it not change, under circumstances of gravity? It didn't take long to enter the vault. Then I thought of a way. He took out a scale, then sprayed it with a bottle of liquid nitro, followed by placing the glass of water on the scale. No change. Turned out the liquid nitro had frozen the scale, making it temporarily inactive. All problems solved. They decided on a date tomorrow. The man will point his gun at the roof of the bank, pull the trigger on the hook hanging right on the iron frame, then install the safety lock and slide quickly onto the roof of the bank. After the three arrived to use the suction cup to remove the glass on the roof, the team house adjusted the surveillance to replay the loop. All three took the opportunity to enter the bank lobby through the safety rope. Under the guidance of the fat guy, they successfully escaped from the security guards. Using the ventilation duct to moving towards the vault was now successful outside the vault, but the abyss ahead hindered them. Luckily they had prepared in advance. The guy installed the telescopic ladder, then hooked the two ends of him, quickly forming the bridge, and then they climbed over, and soon the three of them walked towards the opposite direction. The guy wearing fake fingerprints successfully passed the indention system. Joy and Alice took the pre-prepared key, and together they opened the tunnel, slowly opening it. Inside was the treasure chest that they salvaged from the bottom of the sea, but they did not dare to enter because there was a giant scale in the basement. With just a slight change in the weight, the mechanism will be activated. At this time, the uncle followed the plan of liquid meat onto the scale. Soon it was frozen and became useless. The floor of the vault also began to freeze. He quickly entered the scale without changing. All three of them were feeling relieved. She started searching for gold coins non-stop. Not long after, Alice found it, but then the liquid nitrogen gradually disappeared. The security guards discovered that someone had entered the vault and immediately found someone to check while they were preparing. Leaving suddenly, someone pulled out a gun. It turned out he wanted to steal gold coins. The steel door closed quickly. They were trapped inside. Then the sewer started to discharge water. In less than 2 minutes it would completely submerge this place. He was a transcendent fisherman. He jumped into the water and swam out of the water gate with the gold money. Joy and Alice seemed to be having a hard time, just waiting in the natural water tank. Joy had an idea, and the uncle put the liquid nitrogen on the scale. Let balance the feeling that the water is so full that it will stop spraying water. Then the uncle quickly followed and put all the bottles of liquid nitrogen up at once after the was closed, and soon the water ran out, and waited until security was released. They went into the vault, and it turned out that they both escaped through the ventilation pipe and then mixed into the crowd wearing Spanish shirts and hiding among the fans, watching the World Cup there. They escaped. It was a pity. When the gold coins were still taken by him, Thom smiled smugly, because he knew he had a problem. He asked someone to counterfeit 3 coins while Alice looking for the gold coins that had been secretly transferred. Then the fat man entered the coordinates on the gold coin located at a London bank. It seemed like he wanted to get your newspaper back. Your challenge will continue. This is the end of the movie. Everyone remember to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss new movie. Bye bye.